Checking In with Anthony and Glenn is brought to you by HD Supply.
It's Checking In with Anthony and Glenn, teaching you to be the hotelier that you wanna be. It's Checking In with Anthony and Glenn.
Anthony.
Glenn, it is beautiful to see you in that beautiful blue shirt. I'm colorblind, so that is blue, right?
It's actually rainbow striped. No, it's blue.
It's blue.
It's blue. I just got this. I had a speaking engagement
As
for
he's
a
feeling
hotel
his breast,
management
as
company.
he's saying that?
I'm massaging myself
Why
lovingly.
when you say it's a beautiful shirt and you start feeling your breast? What's going on?
I've been looking for an excuse all day just to massage my boobs, so you gave it to me.
I can't unsee that. Okay. So how are you?
I love the texture of this.
I know you keep feeling yourself.
It's a Nike shirt. Just do it. I just can't help myself.
How are you?
All right, this is a great.
That's a hell of a way to open the show.
Doing great. We're here at the amazing Garden City Hotel, our new home for our show, each and every episode, and loving it. You know, seriously though, they've got this great chef's table thing. David Burke is here. He's the chef of the hotel, and you can do an intimate experience for 4 to 8 guests that are offered every single night of the week. You start in the King Bar with some signature cocktails, get some small plates, dinner, and a show with the live action, the culinary team in the heart of the kitchen. I love that kind of stuff here at the Garden City Hotels. You like to eat, right, Anthony?
I'm Italian, of course.
Yeah, of course you like to eat. So I'm gonna have to bring the wifey here and some friends and try that one night.
The wifey. She'll like that you said wifey. Garden City Hotel. I really never knew what to expect from it, and since I've been coming here now, 2 or 3 weeks. It's just a beautiful hotel. So thank you for letting them or allowing us to do our podcast here. And this is not an advertisement.
Right.
It's the truth. It's a great little hotel, or a great big hotel, or a great beautiful hotel. And it's not in the middle of Manhattan.
Right. And if you come out here, no boob talk, unlike what's going on this show. So, Anthony, I've been doing a lot of these speaking gigs around the country, and I've been trying to elevate them by being more emotionally raw. Really,
so you hired somebody else?
That's right. Because, as we know, I am dead inside and unable to share emotions, unlike you who've gotten very good at it. So hopefully I'll learn a little bit more. But one of the things that I've learned in my career is to recognize what's going on in my inner cycle of my career. And we talked a little bit about this offline, and interestingly, you feel kind of sort of the same way. And I'm starting to think that maybe after speaking a little bit about this at an event I attended last week, maybe everybody is feeling these things. And this is a good opportunity for us to share what we think and get other people to know that they're feeling it too.
Well, the other day when we talked before we were on the phone and we were just talking, and I said, hey, what are we going to talk about this week on the podcast? And you said, and because we really don't prepare too much, we just try to really come and just make it spontaneous. We have a couple outlines of what we want to speak about. And you said to me, this is what I'm thinking about. But if you could,
Yep.
say it exactly the way you said it to me. Because the way you said it to me, I was like, well, I feel like that every single day.
Right.
And I've never talked to anybody about this, but go ahead.
All right. So essentially, I came to a moment a couple of few, even more years ago, that I go through a very specific cycle with my career. And let's start at the beginning/end of this cycle, because cycles go in circles. And that's a heavy depression, not clinical depression, but just being depressed about my state in life, right? And really feeling like I'm at that bottom. What am I doing with myself? And then finally, I get over being sad, the old sad sack, and start to find myself a little bit of motivation. Glenn, you can do it. You can make a change. You have it within you. And I talk myself up a little bit. Then I get to what I call the execution phase, where I actually go ahead and start going and following that particular plan. Then after that, well, once I start working hard and start to execute on things, I start to find some sort of success, which makes me feel good, which leads to more success, which leads to confidence, which means I'm doing really good at myself. Boy, look at this, which leads to more success, which creates a sense of euphoria and excitement about everything for a little while until it all starts to be the same old, and I'm not starting to face new challenges. And then I start to become a little bit complacent, then a little bit more complacent. And then I fall right back into that depression, which brings us right back to dough, as they say in that song.
I think What did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
All right, so you want me to start over?
No, the last word. You said
Which
something.
brings us back to dough, like dough, a deer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, got it. I just wanted to make sure that everything you said
Sorry,
I'm listening to, because I learn from you every day. So,
Right. So, I'm sorry that I'm not doing better with my Sound of Music references. I know you love me to pepper all our shows with them.
yeah. So getting back to
What would Liesel do?
You said.
Sorry.
Stop, will you? All right. So what you said is the human cycle.
Right.
I don't think you're as unique as you are. I don't think you're unique in the sense that I can't imagine that people don't go through that, right? And that everyone doesn't go through that. And like I was just talking off the air that I have children that are going to college and they're now struggling with like, what's my life going to look like in 2 years? I'm not a kid anymore. I got to be an adult. And I would imagine that my dad's the checkbook's going to start to close. Now what am I going to do with the rest of my life? So, and then they go through that. It's like excitement, and then like, I'm not doing enough. My daughter said to me last night, she goes, I'm not doing enough. I said, well, list the things you're doing. And I was like, I couldn't do all that in a day.
Right.
She's developing a theater show in college. She's in a show. She's going to school full time. She's got, a boyfriend. She's got relationships, friends that she's keeping going. She goes out to theater. She's got so much going on in her life. I said, what else do you want to be doing? I was like, so we all have those struggles of we're not doing enough, or we're doing too much, or why isn't it working? So we all go through that, I think. I know personally, he's staring at me like with absolutely no emotion, and he's freaking me out.
Well, that's because I told you I'm dead inside. This is my focused face, Anthony. I'm hanging on every single word.
So I think every single one of us
Right.
go through that. And when I was a kid, my dad died and my mom was single and raised us, and there was a lot of insecurity. When I tell people I was insecure, and I still am insecure, sometimes I think we all are.
We're all insecure.
People's like,
constantly.
you're insecure.
Right.
When I tell people I have stage fright, but no one will ever know it, because when I get on stage, I rock it because I do things to get myself prepared for it. So I think we all struggle with that, and I think it's so important to talk about it, especially for the younger generation, and even middle-aged people, and anybody should talk about it. So I go through the same, I think, cycle. I don't really allow myself to think I'm depressed, or to think I'm upset, or to think I'm not doing enough. I'm so competitive that I'm just like on to the next thing. It's like I don't give myself that moment to comprehend that. Like, I don't like feeling sorry for myself, and I don't like people that feel sorry for themselves.
Right.
So I can't even recognize in talking to you that I ever allow myself to get depressed or allow myself to feel those feelings, because I'm so competitive. It's like, you're a fucking loser. Stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Right.
Just get on to the next thing. When I was growing up, and we've talked about this before, I was really depressed and didn't know what to do. I went in the Air Force. That saved my life. I went to college, saved my life. And then one success after another has gotten me, to where I felt comfortable with myself. But I have to have wins. I had to have wins to start feeling good.
Right.
Whether it be a PR event, whether it be turning around a hotel, whatever it was, I had to have wins. And when I don't have enough wins, and I have more, errors, because I don't believe in losses. I believe in an error, because if you made a decision, it wasn't successful, it's not a loss. It's just an error, and you'll correct that error. That's how I view life. So I can't ever say I lost at anything, because I just don't allow myself to say that. Because to me, I've always tried, and I've taken big swings. And if you don't try, I think you lost. So I think we all go through that. We all have ways of dealing with that. A big win for me was getting the show. And that my confidence felt pretty good. And then maintaining it now for 9 seasons has been real a confidence booster. Now, Travel Channel, if you look at it now, it looks like a paranormal network, and they're greenlighting a lot of paranormal shows, which is great. So what is happening?
It is great, because my career goals are actually, once I'm dead, I want to come back as a ghost on a paranormal show.
Well,
so I'm excited about that.
So there's another joke that doesn't work, but okay. So
you are the world's toughest audience, which I don't know if I hate or is just going to motivate me to make even worse jokes.
Keep coming, baby. So my point being is, so we're pitching other shows, and we're pitching hotel shows, and we may get picked up on Travel Channel for 3 shows. We may not, but that has no But I'm pitching other shows. I'm pitching other networks, and we just got another show picked up on Oxygen that I can't talk about right now until it's in the can. But I got a show coming out on Oxygen I'm producing. So I don't allow myself to have a weed grow under my feet. Because I don't want anybody to ever control me. I don't want anybody to control my career. And the second I feel like I'm not where I want to be, it's no one else's fault. It's my fault. And I suck. So I can't allow anybody to control me. Whether I get picked up for a show, whether I do a lot of speaking engagements, whether my company, RJO Hospitality, is growing. It's growing unbelievably. I'm doing really, thank God, everything's going well for it. But if it wasn't, I wouldn't spend more than a day thinking about it. I would just put a plan together immediately and start reacting to it. So I'm afraid to stop.
Okay. I want to ask you.
Does that make any sense?
It makes a lot of sense, and I want to ask you more questions about that in 1 second. But I do want to take a moment and hear from our sponsor. We'll be right back after this.
Hospitality professionals rely on HD Supply facilities and maintenance for the day-to-day maintenance of their engineering departments, housekeeping supplies, as well as their capital expenditure renovations. And why? Because they're reliable and they've been around for decades. They have over 100,000 products, and they have a nationwide distribution system. They have an amazing dedicated sales representation force, and they have the tools, technology, and specialized services to make your hotel spectacular.
All right, and we're back. Thanks so much, sponsor. I appreciate it. All right, so Anthony,
you know what? I'm going to call you out on something.
Yeah.
When you come back from break, you always say, "Thank you a lot, sponsor. I really appreciate it." It doesn't seem sincere.
Okay.
Are you sincere?
Yeah, I'm totally sincere. You want me to try it again?
Yes.
Let me try it again. Thanks, sponsor. I really appreciate it. I don't know. How am I supposed to sound? Let me try.
Without the sponsors,
we ain't nothing.
We shouldn't be doing this.
I know. Well,
so I think it should sound like this. I truly appreciate our sponsors. Now back to the show.
I truly appreciate now everything I say is going to just sound like I'm being snarky, no matter how hard I try.
No, but it's true.
No, it is really true, and thank goodness we have people that are starting to rally behind this show and support us, so we can continue to sit here and do what we love best. Complaining in the microphone and me trying to make you laugh.
I think the time this airs will be over 100,000 downloads.
Yeah, probably.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, not so bad.
So not only thanks to sponsors, thanks for people listening.
Yes.
So back to the show.
Let me thank all the people for listening. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening, and please share it with your friends. Please share it with your family. We really, really appreciate it because, listen, speaking about this whole career thing, I never really expected that at some point that this would be a way for me to express myself and make money at the same time. And without all of you making all of these downloads and listening to what we have to say every week, I wouldn't be able to do what I love. So thank you so much for enabling me to do what I love more than anything.
Now that's sincere. Okay, so now what were we talking about?
All right, we're talking about the cycle of the career and how you would never let yourself get bogged down and stuck. But how do you not let yourself get bogged down and stuck? Because part of me, that natural cycle, is to get bogged down and get stuck. Because I think that hitting that ultimate low, without it, I wouldn't be able to achieve ultimate highs.
And I'll tell you why. When I was 2 years old, my dad died. It's like, your life just got, smashed because your dad died. So I expect, shit like that's going to happen, right? I think about a kid that has leukemia and has 6 months to live. I think about the reason I wear this bracelet is for a personal reason. There's 3 young ladies that I knew, my friends' kids, that died in a car accident, and I wear it every day, and it'll be in my it'll be buried with me. So I don't ever take myself too seriously, and I don't ever take my career too seriously. I have to support my family. That is it. Whether I'm famous, I'm not famous, whether I'm sweeping streets or whether I'm talking to you on TV, my number one goal is I need to support my children. I need to support my family. I need to ensure that my bills are paid. Some years I did well. Some years I did extraordinarily well. That is the goal. The goal is not money. It's just to be able to not have pressure financially so my family feels comfortable, right? That's basically all I care about. Now,
right.
If I do what I love doing and I'm passionate about it, passion changes everything, that'll take care of itself. And my entire life, since the day I got out of the Air Force, it's kind of taken care of itself because I never worried about the money. Like on the podcast, we never worried about money. We're still not making money from it, but that's not the point. The point is we enjoy it and we're able to do it, and we'll figure the money out later. So we'll figure out the money later, and then here goes another bad joke. So I think for me handling it is, what is my goal? I want to win. Right. And what does winning mean? Winning means supporting my family. Why? Because I don't ever want my family to feel that stress, because there's enough stress in the world. Right. So how I deal with it is I don't like victims. As Leo Rossi, a dear friend of mine, once said, I said, Leo, you're an actor in Hollywood for 50 years. The acting world, you've been in everything from The Accused to Analyze This to, he's been involved in every single movie it seems like that's ever been made. And I said, but the acting jobs just 5 years ago are drying up. I see you writing. I said, why are you writing? What's going on? And he goes, Anthony, my boy, I will never be a victim. Yep. So I just can't allow myself to be a victim of my circumstance because other people are going through so many bad things. My brother Angelo always says, if you have a tree of problems and everybody puts their problem on the tree and then you go and say, okay, pick any problem you want and take it off the tree, you would pick your problems and take them back because everybody's got problems. Right. So I just refuse. If I'm an able-bodied person and I am mentally strong, although my children think I'm crazy, I am going to be able to figure it out. So because I don't want to be a victim and because I don't like victims and because I don't like people that feel sorry for themselves, I just won't allow myself more than a day, not even. And honestly, if I'm having that day where I just need to clear my mind, I go play poker, literally. I'll just go play poker. So if you see me at a poker table, that means I'm clearing my brain. So I just can't allow myself to get there because I'm afraid if I do, if I stop, will I ever go again?
That's interesting. And I think that...
and that may not be healthy, but that's what works for me.
Well, I'm not so healthy when it comes to those things as well. For me, I think I've modeled my whole career, at least since I gained a level of confidence with who I am as a human being, with following my passion and not worrying about the money. I have the same concerns that you have. We've got to feed our families first. There's not a human being
that doesn't.
But for me, it's been about finding what I'm passionate about and then chasing 100%. That passion with everything that I can. And I knew that the money would eventually follow.
100%.
Right? And if you're able to find a way in your life to nurture that passion and pursue that passion and leverage that passion, you're going to be able to find a way to make money at it. One of the things that I found interesting, Anthony, is that no matter where I've been in life, it's all worked out financially. I never think it's going to, yet it seems to.
Yeah, I think you said something very important. There's not a human being that doesn't want to support their family. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to live a comfortable life, to feel good, right? So if you're passionate about something, you build confidence. Right. So when you get kicked in the nuts and things aren't going well or get kicked somewhere else, if you're not a man, when you get kicked, you're confident that I love doing this. And if I keep doing this, it'll click. If you're doing something you hate and you get kicked, then it's like, not only I hate what I'm doing, now I got to go find a job or figure out how to go make a living at something I hate. Now, if you get kicked and you're loving something, you're like, okay, I really love this. Let me go find out another company that appreciates my love for what I'm doing, and it's easier to find a position or to support your family. So I have never not wanted to be associated with the hotel business. And because the hotel business is so big and I'm pretty confident about my abilities, even when I'm like, things going the way I want it to go, I'm confident that like a friend of mine just, left her job and she's looking for something, but she's been doing what she's doing for a long time. She's very good at it and she'll figure it out and she'll find something. But imagine getting kicked and hating what you do and now have to go find a job hating what you do.
I can't imagine it. We've all been there in our lives doing jobs.
I hate doing this podcast with you, but I do it.
Yeah, funny. We've had something in common. Finally.
Oh, that was good. Now finally you said something funny.
I try. We record multiple episodes in a single day of this, and if I could get him to laugh at least once on one of these shows, my work is done here. I'm going to put that into my inner cycle challenge, getting Anthony to laugh.
But I think it's so important for like, listen, one of the things I love and I hate is people that talk about leadership and motivation, because I'm one of those people. And I hate it on the sense of, if you're buying a book or you're going to a seminar and you're not wired for success, anything that I have to say to you is not going to penetrate.
Agreed.
And what I mean by being wired for success doesn't mean you have to be the smartest or the hardest working. You don't have to be the smartest or hardest working. The one thing you have to do is understand no one gives a shit. You have to find your inner passion, your inner want, your inner, like, it's me against the world. And then when the world comes to you, then you'll be ready for success. As someone once says, put your thoughts and dreams out there and the world will conspire for your success.
That's right.
I so believe that. And the gentleman that created All in the Family, Norman Lear said that. I was watching him on a talk show with Smiley. What was the gentleman?
Travis Smiley?
Travis Smiley.
Tavis. Sorry, not
right.
Travis. Tavis.
He was on his show, and I was in a hotel room somewhere, and he said, put your dreams out there, and the world will conspire for your success. I jumped up out of my bed, first time and last time ever, ran to get a piece of paper, wrote that down, and I said, that is the greatest thing I've ever heard, because it is so true. The world will conspire for your success. In other words, people will help you. The world will help you. You will become successful. But you have to truly want to do it worse than anything in the world. So you can't do that when you're a victim. Like, it's not fair and I can't I fucking hate more than anything in the world. More than anything. I cannot explain how just not even upset that I get at the person, because I don't. It's just like if I had a tape recorder, listen to yourself. It's not fair. And how about that kid that's dying of cancer? How about the person that just died in a car accident? How about the person that can't make rents in a homeless shelter? You know what? No one gives a shit. Suck it up and do it. Now, I've been there where I felt sorry for myself. I've been there where I'm like really afraid. I'm really scared. But I have to feel and truly go somewhere, whether it be a friend, whether it be a counselor, whether it be going to play poker, whatever it is, to get myself inspired, because I can't put my insecurities and my problems on someone else, because guess what? They have their own.
Right.
And they may care in that moment, but as soon as they turn around, they don't care. Now, if you call them up, they'll talk to you, but at the end of the day, you have to want it really badly. And it really helps that I'm hyper-competitive. So I want to win. And I don't have time to be a victim.
Right. You're absolutely right. You don't have time to be a victim in this life.
When I was doing all that, I had my eyes closed.
Yeah, you did. It was great. It was wonderful to watch, because you were totally challenging, channeling something very intimate with yourself, and it was great to see you let go and be able to share in that way. And I was actually sitting here saying, man, he is so passionate about this. I hope that I have something intelligent to say once he stops talking. Mm-hmm. I did not.
No. But listen, what I think is important, and I'm like I said, I go through it with my children, I go through it with myself. You go through it, every human being goes through it, is you have to allow yourself. So now I'm going to kind of counter what I just said. You have to allow yourself to feel like a victim. You have to allow yourself to feel insecure. You have to allow yourself to feel a little depressed. You have an outlet to talk to a dear friend of yours or a therapist, right? So I'm not saying I don't feel those things. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to feel those things. What I'm saying is, when you go out into the world and everybody that will listen, you start putting that on them, they're going to conspire for your failure, because now you're just a complainer and a whiner. So there are outlets. And I don't want anybody to misunderstand me saying, like, if you're feeling like a victim or you're feeling depressed, that you're a loser. You're not, because I feel like that too.
Right.
What I'm saying is, use it in a positive way. How I use it is very personal, and I don't talk about it ever. And I just motivate myself to get to the next level. A lot of people can't do that. There's moments where I can't do that, and I find solace to do that. So I think that when you start putting it out in a negative way, negative things come.
Absolutely. I'm a big believer if you put positive energy out in the universe, you'll get more positive energy
A
back.
smile can knock down a building.
Just talking to someone about that, when I'm feeling like shit and I hate myself, and we all go through those periods where we feel that way. Either I did something stupid or an opportunity that I was really counting on didn't pan out, or the Jets lost. Well, the Jets always lose. I don't
Let's
get
talk
stressed
about that for a second.
anymore.
I'm going to hold
Yeah.
that thought, but I'm going to interrupt.
All right.
I never hate myself. I'm disappointed in myself. I get upset, but I never hate myself.
I think I used I don't think I used hate in the right way. I don't
Okay.
truly hate myself. It's just like, oh, I hate that I did that.
Right,
You know, that
right,
sort of a
right.
thing, not like true hate.
Because I
Again,
think that's a whole, because some people do, and I think that's a whole.
Again, when I use
other
words like
thing.
depression or hate, I'm not using them in more of the clinical
Clinical way,
sense.
right.
I'm just using it more in the
And I think that's important to say because there are people that feel clinically depressed.
And
There
that's
are
a-
people
that's a very
that
serious
truly,
issue.
Truly hate themselves, and that is not what we're talking about.
No, we're not.
We're talking about momentarily not feeling good about ourselves.
I think I'm a very healthy, well-adjusted individual for the most part. I know you're rolling your eyes at me, and
One
if
person's opinion.
my wife ever listened to these podcasts, she would do the same thing.
But I think what we're talking about is we're talking about the insecurities that everybody feels.
Right, and we all feel insecure, and we all never feel good enough. And I always look at everybody else saying, "Oh, look at what they've accomplished,"
Mm-hmm.
and I automatically discount everything that I've ever achieved in my life in a lot of ways. I don't know if that's a good thing, a bad thing, but it is just what it is.
What
And,
was it, the thing you want to talk about that I interrupted?
it doesn't really matter because we've moved on.
And I think what's really important is, I think for me, I'm not going to preach because I don't like preaching. I don't like people preaching to me. This is what helps me. You know, when we were growing up, you know, brushing your teeth and being responsible was important. Now as we get older, we realize the importance of health.
Right.
And I truly believe that what you eat and how you stay or don't stay physically active is a tremendous part of being a healthy human. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not an exercise expert. But honestly, if I was going to college today, I would probably be something like that. I would
Right.
probably want to be into nutrition and into exercise because I know in my life, with as much travel I've done, as much pressure of getting these shows in the can and turning these people's hotels around and running my business, doing everything that I'm doing, that if I wasn't eating healthier and I wasn't feeling lighter and I wasn't in the gym, like yesterday I went to the gym. I hurt my shoulder a couple weeks ago, so I've been going to the gym, but I really haven't been lifting. And when I lift, it makes me feel good because I want to feel like I still have a lot of strength. So I asked my coach, I said, "Hey, coach, are we lifting today?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, "How's your shoulder?" I said, "It's okay." So he tested, and we got to some pretty good weight. I felt really good about myself.
Yeah.
I came out of that gym yesterday saying, you know what? I feel really strong and I feel really good. And it helped my entire day, and it's helping me today. So I really think is whatever you do, it could be walking around the block. It could be doing sit-ups. It could be, you know, instead of having 3 slices of pizza, 1 slice of pizza. Whatever you need, I truly believe that nutrition and exercise is a critical component of happiness. Personally believe it.
I agree.
Can't give you scientific data because I don't study it, but I know what it has done for me. And I know what happens when I go a week or 2 weeks eating like crap and not working out, and I feel like shit.
Yeah.
So I think it's all tied together.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I happen to really love the feeling that I get after swimming laps for 45 minutes or something like that. I feel really accomplished. My body feels good. My brain rewards me by giving me those endorphins. But the same body conspires against me that morning. Hey, you don't want to go to the gym today. You don't want to make that right food choice. And I find that to be much more challenging for me as an individual. I haven't been to the gym in 3 weeks. Last time we recorded, you were like, hey, you're starting to look good. And then I just kind of let it all fall apart because I've been traveling. I didn't follow a routine. And now I'm feeling a little bit more, it's a little bit more difficult to get the engine started in the morning.
So one of the things that has helped me is I've ensured, like, I like chocolate. So in my house, we call it dishwasher chocolate. We call it dishwasher chocolate because I hide the chocolate for my kids and myself in the dishwasher.
Right.
And they say, but Dad, we all know it's there and we all go to the dishwasher. That's ridiculous. And I'm like, yeah, but 1 out of 10 times you forget when you don't see it on the counter. And so I'm trying to prevent myself from eating 1 out of 10 times chocolate. So it's just my way of trying to trick myself, right?
That's how I used to trick myself in order to save money. Not by putting it in the dishwasher, but I would have a separate bank account that I couldn't easily access, and I'd immediately just move money there. And psychologically, I was able to create a barrier that prevented me from thinking about that.
That's funny. I have an account that I have no ATM card, and I have to go to the bank to withdraw it.
Right.
I literally have to go there, and I never go. So so every once in a while, when I'm in the bank for something else, I drop money in there, and I'm like, that's money I can't touch. So same thing with the gym. I can't go to the gym without having an appointment. So, I have a trainer. Now, a trainer is expensive. I really don't want to have a trainer all the time,
right?
Because it's a lot of money. However, I learned myself. I used to go to the gym by myself all the time. I now, at this age, I need somebody to say, okay, 10 o'clock, you have to be here. And I don't like disappointing people being late, so I go. And then I am not responsible for what's going to happen. They are responsible, so now I don't have to think, because it's the only time I really don't think.
Right.
It's the only time where I let somebody completely take control of me. Mm-hmm. And your job is to make sure I don't get hurt, and your job is to make sure that I stay in shape. That has really helped me. So if you don't have, if you can't afford a trainer or you can't afford a gym, do something in your life that you run into, that you almost have to do. It could be simply moving something, somewhere. In your house that you have to walk to it. It could be, instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs, as a lot of people say. Whatever it is, but it is, as I'm getting older, I realize how critical my mental stability is, how it is tied into exercise. When I used to go to the gym, I used to go to the Reebok gym here all the time in the city, and it's a real kind of fancy gym on the Upper West Side because my friend was the general manager and would hook me up. And, I would pay the regular fee, but put me in the VIP locker room. And I never sweated. I worked 3 years. I never broke a sweat. I was in shape.
Right.
Like I lifted weights and everything, but I never broke a sweat. My trainer has got me, praying every single day that I live through the workout. And I need that. So I just think it's really important when you go through that cycle of depression, that cycle of, I suck. Why can't I get this? Why can't I get that? Woe is me. I get away from myself. I don't talk to myself that way, because in my movie, in my head, it changed from when I was a kid to, there's the big bad world out there and I'll never be successful. That was my movie. Okay, the movie in my head now is get out of my way, because I'm coming. And I am going to annihilate anything in my way. That's the movie in my head every single day. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to hurt anybody. That means you're not going to control me, and you are not going to decide if I'm successful or not.
Right. So
that's the movie in my head. And the gym and eating healthy gets me there.
Well, the movie in my head is The Smurfs. So what does that mean?
Okay. Move on. Not funny. Although I did have a car in 1970 Nova that I had Smurfs in high school glued all the way on my dashboard. But anyway.
All right. So so let's flip it. We already know how you approach that depression cycle, not the clinical depression, but when you need to motivate yourself. How do you handle that other end when you're totally euphoric and the chemicals in your body are tricking you into thinking you're fucking amazing, and you're not? None of us are.
You know what? Again, I go back to that kid in the hospital. I go how fortunate I am in life that I'm healthy, and it's funny because the president of Travel Channel said to me, by the third season, you're going to become an asshole, so I can't have you become an asshole. Let's talk about that. And I'm like, why would I become an asshole? She goes, because a lot of people, the time the third season comes around, they feel invincible and they become an asshole. And I'm like, well, again, I hate to keep bringing this up, but when you're 2 years old and your dad dies, you always know the rug can be wiped out from under you. So I don't have that problem. I literally do not have that problem. I'm not so... I'm not at a point where I can't enjoy my success and feel like, hey, this is fucking good. I did this. I do a show on Travel Channel. I do speaking engagements. I have a good career. Whatever. I feel good about that. And I'm confident about that. And I'm proud of myself for that, right? On the other hand, that can go away in a split second. Another way, I'm no better than anybody else. There's 1,000 people that would like to be in the position I'm in. Mm-hmm. Okay? And they'll get there. I'm sure, and I'll go back down. The greatest saying ever is be nice to the people on the way up because the same people you see on the way down.
Yeah.
Like, I truly do not feel entitled. I don't feel that I can show up late because I'm special, because I'm not. I don't feel that I can talk to somebody a certain way. Like, if I'm pissed off at somebody and I'm talking a certain way, it's not because I feel I'm special. It's because I'm pissed off and I think the person I'm talking to might be an idiot.
Right.
Okay? But I have seen people, a lot of people, that feel entitled.
Yeah.
And I just, listen, you grow up with not a lot going on, you're just petrified that you're going to go back there.
I always worry about having too much success, because when you get to be the ultimate success, then the next step is down, right? I like that ride on the way up a whole lot more than panicking about down. And this is a show where we're talking about the cyclical nature of our inner selves. And no matter what great successes you have, it's going to come to an end at some point.
Unless, this is to me the key, right? You don't have to be Oprah and have billions of dollars. You don't have to be Bill Gates. You have to have, everyone has to have fuck you money.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, fuck you money could be pension. Fuck you money could be health insurance. Whatever it is, you have to feel safe that now I can take a breath and I can start doing what I want. That's what everybody's going to. I'm trying to get to the point where I have fuck you money, where I can just nobody can ever see me again, maybe, and I can do whatever the hell I want. I'm not there yet, right? Now, I don't get up in the morning saying that's my goal. I'm not getting up in the morning saying I need to make all this money so I can just go somewhere in Hawaii. I don't ever think of that.
Right.
But when you really break it down, if you had enough money to do anything you wanted, you would make a lot of changes in your life, potentially. I am in a position, because I love what I do so much, if I had that ability to just kick back and just never worry about money again, I would probably do exactly what I'm doing now.
Right. Yeah, that's how I feel. I love what
Right.
I'm doing.
I maybe do less of it, but I would do what I'm doing now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love everything that I get to do, and I feel so blessed and fortunate that I get to do
So did I
what I get to do.
Did I contradict myself?
But in a good way. I think we are contradictions. That's the human experience.
Well, some people get to that point to have that money so they can go do what they want to do.
Right.
Some people are like, all right, I have that money. I'm going to continue
That's
what
right.
I'm doing, but I can
It
kick
takes
out
the
anytime I
pressure
want.
off, because we're all, aside from being motivated by the passion to do what we love to do, it always has that undercurrent of what you said, the ultimate motivating factor, making sure that our family is safe and secure with shelter and food and all of the basic necessities in life. And wouldn't that just free us all up to be able to achieve that FU money place where we don't have to worry
fuck
about our
you.
family? Fuck you. I'm not going to say that.
This is the most we'll ever curse on the show. Because to me, those words, and a lot of people say, well, you don't have to use those words or anything. I think I do. Because that's really, if you're working every single day, you're going 9 to 5, you're working 40 hours a week, or 50 hours a week, 80 hours a week, and you feel like you can't catch up, you literally say to yourself, if I just had this fuck you money, I could just
Right.
get out of this, right? So that's, for me, I don't feel that I have to get out of anything, but it would be nice to maybe not have to, do something
Right.
That day, and I can maybe just sit in the pool.
And I do want everyone to know that I actually love...
Wait, hold on, the joke's coming.
No joke. This is
Okay.
this is serious. This is me revealing part of myself.
Okay, hold on, let me take notes.
I love fucking cursing, but I'm not used to doing it in this forum anymore. I'm really great with the salty mouth with my friends and my family, and even my teenagers now. I'm starting to get used to it because my wife is really a sailor mouth, and it's just I've done so much stuff on stage and so much stuff on the microphones that had to be saccharine, sweet, and clean that I'm just not used to it.
I don't necessarily think I don't like the curse. I really don't. But I just think there's sometimes it just has to come out. But anyway,
I love cursing.
So at the end of the day, you have to do whatever feels right for you. If it's crying, if it's feeling sorry for yourself, if it's allowing yourself, if you have to crawl up in the ball in the corner and just feel like a piece of crap for 24 hours to get it all out, if it's going to a therapist
Right.
and getting support, whether it be keeping it to yourself and trying to figure it out for yourself because you've been successful doing that before, the one thing that you can't put out in the world is you can't whine to other people constantly because people have got their own crap.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can confide in a friend, you can let it out, with certain people, but negative people can never become successful. Think of one really successful person, okay, in the world that is negative. That's negative every day. And don't say it because that person doesn't see himself as negative.
So you knew exactly where I was going. Right.
That person doesn't see himself as negative.
Yeah.
So
no, but it's true. What you put out in the universe is what you get back from the universe. Whether or not you believe in God or don't believe in God or some other spirituality, I think that's the fundamental laws of the universe. That what you put out there definitely comes back to you. It's why when I'm severely depressed, I try to smile at somebody because they're going to smile back at me. I'll hold the door open for somebody so they say thank you to me. And all of those little tiny things, those little wins, those little boosts that you get, it starts to change your brain chemistry. It starts to make you feel better. And the better positivity that you could put out there in the universe every single day, make people feel good about themselves, love and respect people, all of that will come back to you. So the ultimate thing in selfishness, to feel good about yourself, is to make everybody feel amazing about them too.
I think it's a really good point. Did you ever have a day, I just realized that this has happened to me before, I never really, it was subconscious. Did you ever, at the end of the day, say to yourself, man, I'm in a good mood?
Yeah.
Man, I'm in a really good mood. And you're like, why am I in a good mood? And then you go back to your day and you're like, oh, crap, that's right. I got a keynote speaker. Or that's right, I got a new client. Or you know what? My daughter said something or wrote something that made me feel good.
Yeah.
Or you know what? That lady that I spoke to at Disney World, the housekeeper, for 45 minutes, Star, and it's true.
Right.
She made me feel like $1 million. She was a wonderful lady. She made me laugh. She made me cry. She was amazing. And at the end of the day, I was like, why am I in a good mood? I was like, oh, shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Star lifted me up today. Does that ever happen to you?
Oh, all the time. I'm very much a creature of what just happened to me. I could, I'll check our downloads at the end of the day. Just 2 days ago, we had our second best download day so far, and it gave me that serotonin boost. All of a sudden, my brain was like, woohoo, celebrate, feel good about yourself. So that I very much react to that. If someone doesn't want to do business with me for some reason, whatever it is, either scheduling conflict, they're just not into it, blah, 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 that makes me feel insanely miserable. I take things too good. I take things too bad.
That's a good point. So let's use this as a teaching moment.
All right.
The moment you realize that there's a bunch of downloads, you're like, hey, that feels really good.
Yeah.
When you go there and there's not a bunch of downloads.
Yeah,
there's two people. Go ahead.
I went away on a little vacation. I didn't put much effort into promoting the show, so we had one day that was pretty terrible.
So people look at that. Like if I went, and we'll just use this for example, and I ask you from time to time and say, hey, how we doing?
Constantly.
More than time to time, maybe all the time, maybe every day. I don't know. Do I do it a lot?
No, not more than you should.
Okay. So I ask how downloads are, and I'm ready. And the second you say, hey, we had 3 days in a row with bad downloads, I'm like, okay, let's look at the content of the show. Mm-hmm. Are we talking about what our listeners want to hear? And we have to make a decision.
Right.
Whether we want to maybe come up with more subjects that they want to hear or not. So I am a results-oriented person, meaning I'm not going to go and say, oh, we have 3 down. Oh, my God, that's so bad. Really? Maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Okay, because there's an answer for everything.
Right.
And the answer, even when I'm consulting on hotels, the answer could be rebuild. The answer could be hire a new GM. The answer could be sell the property. Mm-hmm. There's always an answer.
Yeah, there is always an answer.
The answer could be, let's not do this podcast anymore because we have to do content that we don't really want to do. So so I always do my best to put what is out there. When I'm running a hotel, early in my career, people would always say that you're not being fair to that person. And what I mean by that is, if there's a problem in a hotel or in any business that I run, I want to know who. Who is responsible and why did that happen? Like, it's not important who's responsible. Yes, it is. It's 1,000% that person is responsible. I want to know. I don't want to yell at them. I don't even want to write them up. I want to know that person thought it was a really good idea not to look at the arrival report and not to see there's a VIP coming in and at 1 o'clock in the morning walk that person to another hotel. I want to know that person didn't look at that arrival report so he can be retrained or she can be retrained and say, hey, we're not upset at you, but let's not do that again. Okay, so I want to know it's that person. And then I want to put policies in, right? So I'm a results-driven. I'm not the guy that say, this person's stupid. This person wasn't paying attention. Person made a mistake. I make a mistake all the time. I want to know. So I want to know why we're not getting downloads. I want to know why we're getting downloads. I am a results-driven person. And that's the difference between somebody walking around and feeling negative. And I think that's a way for me to not feel negative. It's like, why do I feel like this?
Right.
Why isn't this working? Let's figure it out.
All right. I think I'm both people. I think that my emotional state immediately goes to, this sucks, this is horrible, I should quit, why did I ever do this in the first place? But then I get beyond it, and I'm able to see, and evaluate why those things happen, and to either improve your life and make sure it doesn't happen again, or understand that it just wasn't going to work out.
Right. Right now, we're working on several shows.
Mm-hmm.
I just got picked up for a show. Hotel Impossible is not in production. Will Hotel Impossible come back? I don't know. People ask me every day. But we're working on a lot of things. And we're reinventing Hotel Impossible in a lot of ways. Do you know when I started thinking about Hotel Impossible not being produced anymore?
Season 1.
Pre-season 1.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, before it got picked up, I thought about what is it going to feel like when it doesn't get picked up anymore.
Right.
So when I hear friends that lose a TV show and they're like, oh, they blame everybody. I'm like, dude, I'm living friggin', I'm the luckiest guy in the world that people want to watch my show. So the day's coming, right? Whether it be the podcast canceled, the show's canceled, but it's coming. So I am so mentally prepared that it will never affect me. I will just be like, okay, another show, new show, Extreme Hotels, 5-Star Secrets. There's another show we're doing that I'm really excited about. So, like, I am preparing myself.
Right.
It's like, I'll give you an example. I ran the marathon in 2001.
Wow.
The New York City Marathon. My dream, my entire life, has been to run a marathon. I'm not a runner. Before I decided to run a marathon, the most I ever did, and I ran it when I was 30-something years old, or however old I was in 2001, and it was a 5K when I was like 15 years old at the YMCA in Brooklyn. But I always had the goal. So one day in June that year, I said I'm going to run a marathon. And I started reading, and I started running around Marine Park, and started running over the Rockaway Bridge, and I started training. Not great training, but I started training. So June, July, August, September, October, November. Never ran a marathon. 5 months of medium training, I ran the marathon. And I had to get a favor to get into the marathon through a tour operator at the Travel Inn that my friend ran. And he said, well, I have a tour operator, and he has extra tickets, and he can get you a ticket. However, you got to do this, that, and the other thing. And I did it, and I got in, okay? I hope they don't hold that against me. Anyway, my point being is I ran the marathon. I ran it in 5 hours and 11 minutes. It's not horrible, but it's definitely not something I would like to run it faster. But I finished it and I accomplished it. And I'm telling you that if I would have dragged myself across that finish line with my knees falling off, which they felt like they were, to get across that finish line. Do you know how many miles I've run since that marathon?
3.
0. Okay? Outside of doing rowing and doing the machine for 3 minutes, whatever. I never run another mile on the road, ever. Because I don't like running. But I had a goal. I'm a results-driven guy.
Right.
So when you have a result, don't let anybody... And nobody knew I was running a marathon.
Right.
Nobody. I didn't do it for any other reason but for myself.
Right.
So whatever your goals are, and again, one of my kids are going through it now, it's like, well, they think that. Who gives a shit, man?
Right.
Your goals... You think people thought it was a good idea for a middle-aged guy with 3 kids to go do a TV show? Come on. So you've got to just... It's easy to say you have to believe in yourself. It's easy to say just go do it. No. Go to a dark place, and I don't mean a dark place like in your brain, meaning just a silent place, and figure out and see yourself successful. But also see yourself failing so you counteract that failure before it happens. That's what happens for me.
I think that's great advice. And I think that's probably a good place to wrap up this show. So, Anthony, I feel like we know a lot, but there's got to be something we don't know about you. Tell us something we don't know about you.
What you don't know about me. I used to wrestle in high school. I really liked wrestling in high school. I was 97 pounds in 11th grade in high school. I'm 167 pounds today. So
It's all muscle.
I had to lose weight sometimes
Right.
because I gained like 2 pounds. And I have to get in a rubber suit and get in the spa. And I was at South Shore High School, and there was another wrestler that was apparently state champion or somebody really, really good. And he looked like Lou Ferrigno at 5'1" and 97 pounds. I have no idea how this guy had all this muscle. So I start laughing. I'm going to get destroyed because it's like, this guy can't be the guy I'm wrestling. And my coach, Jeff Banks, says to me, get in there. I'm like, I can't get in there. I'm going to get killed. And he's like, that's the guy you're wrestling. I say, I can't be wrestling that guy. And I start laughing. And I'm in South Shore High School, which is not the high school I went to. So it's his home turf. And they're all kind of snickering because I'm like 97 and I'm skinny, I don't have any muscle on me, but I'm strong. I've always been strong. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get my ass kicked. I go in, and the only thing I did was I pulled him in. I did it under and over. It was my right arm over his left shoulder and my left arm under his right shoulder. Kicked out his feet. He went flying in the air. When he hit the ground, he lost the air, and I pinned him in maybe 11 seconds.
Wow.
And I jump up, and I'm flipping out. And I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy that goes, ah! But I just couldn't believe it just happened. And Jeff looked at me and goes, act like you've been there before. And I never forgot that. So that's helped me, like, whether I get a successful show or whatever I get, I never overreact because I want to act like I've been there before.
It's a terrific piece of advice. I love it.
So there you go.
Yeah. All right.
Tell us something. No. Don't answer the damn question before I ask the question.
All right.
Tell me something I don't know.
You see, I'm not used to being asked questions since I'm
There you go.
usually
'Cause
the
because I
interviewer
care
and
about
things.
you.
Thank you. That would be a first that someone did. It's very special. We should label this a very special episode of checking in with
Let me get
Anthony
the
and Glenn.
tissues. Here you
Yeah. I'll keep it with the wrestling vein. I went to the first ever WrestleMania that they had. I was never an actual wrestler, but I did like watching wrestling on TV, and I went, and I think it was 1984.
Hulk Hogan
or something like that. Hulk Hogan won, but we walked in. We had a great time, and I remember, speaking of winning really quickly, King Kong Bundy won a match in about 9 seconds, so I thought that was pretty good. But there was nothing like being there, caught up in all of that hoopla and the excitement as wrestling finally broke through the mainstream, became the biggest thing in America, and I got to be a part of it.
I, in no way, shape, or form, I am a fan of professional wrestling. I respect it. I appreciate that they are some of the greatest athletes we have. It's a real sport, even though it's entertainment. So I appreciate and respect it. My dear friend is big into wrestling.
Right.
He used to be a wrestler. And I have another friend who is a crazy wrestling fan that invites me to his yearly party that I never go to. So because I was a wrestler in high school, I like I don't want the show business of it. I want the wrestling part of it.
Right.
So I'm not a fan, but
I
I will
totally
tell you
get
this: because of wrestling on Monday nights, it kicks my show's ratings in the ass sometimes. Because they basically take all the viewers.
Yeah, unjust. That's cruel. I haven't watched professional wrestling.
Although I did love Superfly Snooker, my favorite.
Jimmy Superfly Snooker. I
My
love
favorite.
that. I haven't watched wrestling in 20+ years. I was definitely a fan of that.
He's touching his breast again.
80s
This
period.
is uncomfortable.
Now I'm scratching myself because I'm just so itchy from this really comfortable shirt. Not used to comfort. Usually, all right. So anyway, what I was trying to say is, let me make a recommendation for those of you who have HBO. Watch the not King Kong Bundy, the Andre the Giant documentary that's on there. It's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely fascinating. He was a great soul, a kind heart. I'm not going to say anything, but it's not a show. It's not a wrestling. It's more about who he is, and I think you're all going to love listening to a story about a good human being who had a very unusual disease. So, Anthony, how can we find you?
Before I tell you that, quiz. Wrestling manager in a music video.
Well, funny, when you said wrestling manager, at first I was thinking Bobby the Brain Heenan, but then I'm stalling because I know he was in the Cyndi Lauper
What
video.
does he look like?
And he had the rubber band through his cheek,
right,
and all of that
kind
of stuff.
And that was his cell phone. And what was the music video? Who was it for?
It was Cyndi Lauper's "Girls Just Want to Have Fun,"
and his name was Lou.
Oh, my God.
Albano.
Captain Lou Albano.
Okay.
I was dancing around that. All right, Anthony, how do we find you?
You find me on any social media platform at Anthony Hotels. Where do we find you, Glenn?
We find me at Traveling Glenn. I want to thank all of you guys for listening right now. Write in. Let us know what you think about particularly this show. What are your strategies to find success in life? How are you chasing what you're passionate about it? Let us know, and we'll talk about it in a future show.
And as I say, if your life sucks, you suck.
Right, and it's all you're doing. Of course, there's extenuating circumstances, but it's all about a positive spirit, finding that mindset. And we're here to help you. Thanks for checking in.
It's checking in with Anthony and Glenn, teaching you to be the hotelier that you wanna be. It's checking in with Anthony and Glenn.